We had thousands and thousands of kids in the Davis Park area. Kids at Ponte Vedra High School taking exams, practicing sports when this incident was going on in broad daylight.
A burglary suspect who police say was armed was shot and killed by St. Johns County Sheriff's deputies at Davis Park in Nocatee over the weekend. It happened Saturday morning during a sports tournament when Sheriff Robert Hardwick says deputies approached a suspicious vehicle being driven by 42-year-old Dustin Rush.
At first, he's being compliant, and then some type of struggle ensues. We don't know yet until we download the body-worn cameras and the dashboard cameras from her car. That being said, the vehicle takes off. Our deputy sheriff pursues the vehicle, heading towards Nocatee.
A pursuit involving multiple deputies ensued.
As the vehicle actually enters down, heading towards Ponte Vedra High School, the lead vehicle takes action to basically stop the pursuit. The vehicle actually spins and goes into a retention pond in front of some soccer fields where there was a very large amount of children and families actually playing soccer. He continues to drive through the retention pond area and the vehicle becomes disabled.
A foot pursuit then followed.
He's running through the parking lot with a firearm. Our deputies, he takes basically a defensive posture between two vehicles at the end of the parking lot, and a shooting engaged the suspect at that time.
Rush was airlifted to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Hardwick says this could have been a lot worse.
We had a very large amount of children playing organized sports with their families. We had a reckless suspect with no caution at all for life, people in the parking lot walking around. And our deputy sheriffs took the actions they had to stop from having further injury and innocent people being killed. It breaks my heart when our deputy sheriff tell you today that as they're showing up for his backup, there's children prone out on a soccer field because this man took actions to evade the police department instead of just stopping and turning himself in.
37-year-old Crystal Davis was arrested prior to the chase and was also linked to the burglary of a storage facility on Palm Valley Road. This local news is a service of your hometown Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you. Our campaign coverage continues. Liz Ryan speaks with Bill Freeman, candidate for District 3 County Commissioner.
I asked Bill to tell me a little bit about himself.
I'm born and raised in St. Augustine. I went to Cathedral Parish School. I graduated from St. Joseph Academy. I'm a professional engineer. I'm also a licensed contractor. So as a small business owner, I know what it's like to run a business, and that's one of the things that I hope to do with the county is sometimes you have to look at things and control your budgets as if you're running a small business.
I asked what changes he'd make to the comp plan.
I would like to see some better protections for trees instead of allowing developers to come in there and just wipe a whole piece of property clean. And then there's a lot of folks who are building more and more houses along the beaches, and I think it's just not a very wise idea to do that. We've already allowed too many homes along the beaches.
What is his biggest concern regarding District 3 in particular?
I'm just worried about some of the urban sprawl going into District 3. And of course, then we'll start to experience more and more traffic, schools get overcrowded, and all those things that are just bad for the county.
School overcrowding.
You know, with the number of people who are moving in, it promotes the schools getting overcrowded. So if we slow the growth, we wouldn't have the need to build more and more schools. It just limits the growth.
Who is Bill Freeman's mentor?
My father. He's an engineer as well. You know, my father's been a very conservative person. I think that's where I got my conservative values from.
District 3 is the southeastern part of the county, and the current commissioner is Roy Alamo. So far, he has 3 challengers, all Republicans. Next up, we'll talk to Heather Harley-Davidson.
Now that we've turned back the clocks, it's also time to cut down on watering the lawn. Liz Ryan has details.
I spoke to Deidre Irwin of the St. Johns River Water Management District. She says it's a rule, time to cut down on the watering.
Here in St. Johns County, we have an irrigation restriction rule, no more than 2 days a week during the summer months. And then when the time change comes in November every year, we switch to 1 day a week.
If you have an automatic irrigation system, check to make sure it's in compliance.
In Florida, we have a statute that requires that all automatic irrigation systems have a rain sensor attached to them. They control whether or not your system runs when there is rain.
Deidre explained that overwatering is actually bad for your lawn.
Turf grass has a certain root zone. When you go to 1 day a week or even less, those roots work a little harder to get moisture for the turf grass. So you're really doing your landscape a favor if you water less in the wintertime. You'll get those deeper roots. You won't get things like fungus or dollarweed coming in.
Watering your lawn when it doesn't need it is a waste of water and money. If you want to, you can get very tech-savvy about it.
There is a whole suite of new products out there called smart irrigation controllers. If you are in the northern part of St. Johns County and JEA is your service provider, they actually have a rebate program and you will get your smart controller for free.
To learn more about that program, go to jea.com. For St. Augustine's Local Morning News, I'm Liz Ryan.
And now you're up to date with St. Augustine's Local Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.